You see, before Seth was born, Cain slew his brother. And that testimony of that generation was that they did evil in the sight of the Lord. And you study the generations of Cain, and it was a testimony of unrighteousness and wickedness. But there, in the midst of that darkness, God rose up another generation of those who sought the Lord. Genesis 6:5. We all know this. It's a testimony of another generation. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And we all know what that led to. A worldwide flood where God cleansed the whole earth from iniquity, and only the righteous were saved. There's another series of generations that we see in the life of Joshua, isn't there? See, that generation in the wilderness had the opportunity for greatness. They had the opportunity to be the generation through which God fulfilled his promise to bring them into the promised land. But when that moment of destiny came upon them, when their moment of opportunity came and stared them in the face, and God said, "Go take the land," instead of daring to believe God and remember what he had done in Egypt, what he had done with Pharaoh, what he had done with their horses and chariots, forgot how God fed them in the wilderness every day with manna from heaven. Instead, they fixed their eyes upon these walled cities in Canaan. They fixed their eyes on the height of the inhabitants of that land, and they said, "We are grasshoppers in the midst of giants." And their hearts were overwhelmed with fear and discouragement. And what they did is they brought back a bad testimony. But there were two in that generation who wrestled with their whole generation and said, "No, the Lord is with us. God is with us. Let us go. Let us take the land." But the people wouldn't listen. And so the testimony of that generation is that they perished in the wilderness. But God saw the faith of Joshua and Caleb, and they went into the promised land, and God was with them, and they did exploits because they were of a different spirit than the rest of their generation. But then we see in Judges 2:10 a testimony of another generation. When all that generation had been gathered to their fathers, another generation arose after them who did not know the Lord, nor the work which he had done in Israel. And they were handed over to their enemies until God raised up judges. And when you read that, does that not sound like America today?